Hello, TechNation editor John Wallace here. I am excited to be with you today as we learn more about the tool of the trade featured in the March issue of TechNation magazine, the Rigel 288 Plus Electrical Safety Analyzer. Thank you to today's sponsor, Rigel Medical. The Rigel 288 Plus is the first truly handheld medical electrical safety tester to combine the features of an automatic manual tester with the data logging and asset management capability. Operation is through a menu-driven GUI. 5,000 record memory and Bluetooth connectivity make this an effective mobile unit. Enjoy complete freedom to move around without the need for mains voltage thanks to battery-powered test capability. Using standard AA batteries, tests can be carried out for insulation, earth ground bond testing, and touch or point-to-point leakage current testing. The Rigel 288 Plus Electrical Safety Analyzer offers an accurate and fast solution for meeting international and local safety standards, including IEC 62353, AAMI IEC 60601-1, and the IEC 61010 and NFPA-99. Our presenter today will also share some key features of the device. Rigel Medical is renowned globally as a designer and manufacturer of reliable, portable, and compact biomedical test equipment. As metrology specialists for almost 4 decades, the innovative testing solutions have been mitigating risk worldwide in healthcare environments. These products ensure that critical medical equipment is safe to use throughout the device's life cycle. Rigel's U.S. office in Tampa, Florida is ready to serve you with technical support, calibration, and video training. We supplement our U.S. calibration with several regionally located calibration partners. For more information, you can visit rigelmedical.com. Before we begin, I want to remind attendees that today's presentation is eligible for 1 CE credit from the ACI. 1 hour after the end of today's broadcast, you will receive an emailed survey. Completing that survey will grant access to a certificate that you can download and print out from your desktop. We will wrap up today's broadcast with a question and answer session. Please note that the webinar dashboard includes a question feature. You can submit your question for our presenter at any time during the demo. Now, I am excited to share that this year we are celebrating 10 years of Webinar Wednesday. As part of our 10th anniversary celebration, during today's demo, we are going to give away a pair of, we're going to be giving away a gift card to an attendee that can answer the following trivia question. April is Global Astronomy Month. As everyone knows, next Monday, a total eclipse will occur. So what is the term for the brief period when the sun is completely covered? Now, answer using the questions feature on your dashboard, and I will reveal the answer at the end of the webinar, along with the winner. So stay tuned to find out if you are the lucky winner. Also, TechNation magazine is excited to announce that we are taking applications for the 3rd annual 40 Under 40 powered by YP at MD. We are looking for HDM professionals who are under the age of 40 who have done amazing work for the biomedical industry. Applications are due by April 26th. Please apply at onetechnation.com/2020-40-under-40. If you need more information about that, you can just email me at editor@mdpublishing.com. Now, today's presenter is Lewis Leonard, Product Manager in North America for Rigel. Lewis, you may begin whenever you are ready.
Okay, thanks, John, and thanks to TechNation for helping us deliver this webinar and demo today on the Rigel 288 Plus Electrical Safety Analyzer. This demo today, I'm going to start with a presentation just to go through some of the features of the device and talk about how to drive the instrument through the menu settings on the presentation, and then after that I'll run through the demo itself on the 288 device. I've also got an out of bag video, so I'm going to show how the product can be maximized using some of those accessories that come with the unit. And we've also got a application that's just been released for iOS and Android, and that allows you to transfer data from the 288 to your phone, and you can print the results out onto PDF, CSV, or send them over to your asset management systems. So firstly, I just wanted to go through the presentation that I've got here available, and then after that, I can run through the 288 itself, and we can run through any questions that anyone has on the device and how you can use it for automated testing or manual electrical safety testing. So the 288 is an accurate and fast portable device. It's a handheld electrical safety analyzer. Now, when you look at the device first, it can sometimes be a little bit intimidating because it's got a keyboard on the front with a lot of keys, and that can be slightly intimidating to a first-time user. All of those keys for asset management, if you're inputting data, it's there really to assist you for producing reports. So you don't need any alternative applications for inputting your data. It's fully handheld and portable. It has a battery-operated device for data transfer and specific tests. That would be earth bond, insulation, and some point-to-point testing as well. Driven through the battery, but for any leakage tests, for a ground leakage, enclosure leakage, then obviously the device needs to be plugged in. We've got multiple configurations of this unit. See on the front there, that socket might not be as recognizable to some people in the US, but we do have a US specific device for this 288. We've got a full range of insulation testing, so that allows you to test low voltage equipment down to 24 volts and also up to 250 volt AC voltages as well. We've got full compliance to all the international standards and local codes such as NFPA 99, IEC 60601, and those standards can even be reconfigured in the test sequences when changes are made. So if the firmware is not the specific version for that code, then limits and the test sequences can be edited by the user and can be more customizable. It also has automatic warning of secondary ground paths. So if your medical device is connected to anything that allows leakage currents to flow back to ground and not through the analyzer, then the 288 will notify you of that to make sure you're getting accurate leakage results. There's also some ancillary devices that we provide with the 288, specifically a Bluetooth printer for printing out results or labels, and a barcode scanner for inputting your asset management details. So this is the interface and adapter box that comes with the device. You can see on the front we've got an alphanumeric keyboard for inputting your asset management data, but most of your tests are driven through the 4 function keys at the top. So these will be for your manual tests and automated tests, and your arrow keys to go through those functions. So the keyboard's there for your asset detail information, for inputting any data there, any results, and then on the rear we have the different connection points. So 11 and 13, these are your tests for the probes, so point-to-point or ground bonded enclosure leakages for the bottom one on its own. The 288 also incorporates a IEC lead test, and that checks the polarity, the continuity and the insulation of a lead. So it doesn't just test the medical device itself, but also the leads that come with it. And the way you do this is connect the lead to the front where the DUT socket is normally to this point here, and you'll be able to test all your leads that are in your facility. This is for powering the device, and then finally your connection for the ECG module for testing your patient applied parts. And I'll show you that on the demo when we run through the demo itself. The 288 is a manual and automated tester. So from the menu settings, you can go through all the different manual tests, preferably used as an automated tester because it's got test sequences in there for storing results, and it does work better as an automated analyzer. But you do have manual mode there as well for doing any fault finding and doing any manual tests just for measuring the different leakages, ground bonds, or insulation tests. We do also have manual testers within our portfolio. Maybe you're familiar with them already. We have a safe test range. And if it's a manual tester that you're more specifically after, then we do have that within our portfolio.
Lewis, real quick, someone did want to ask about if you could clarify between earth and ground testing.
Sure. So that's a good question. Now I'm familiar with the differences between those terminologies because I've originally started out with Rigel in the United Kingdom, which is where earth bond is used, and ground bond is more specifically used in the US. So it's the same meaning, but with different terminologies just between the countries. So if you do see earth bond on here, it means the same thing as ground bond. It's just the terminology that we use within the UK. Ground bond is effectively what that means. And within our testers, if you look on a safe test, for example, with NFPA 99, that will switch to ground bond. But it's the same measurement. It does exactly the same thing. It's purely terminology. Does that answer that question?
Yes, that was perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, man. So automatic testing, what the 288 is primarily designed for is to have customizable test sequences on top of the default sequences that are included in the 288. So this is one of the ways you can develop a test sequence. You go into the menu, you pick out a preloaded default test sequence, and then you copy it and edit it to be more customizable. Now, in most cases, this isn't going to be a requirement. The default sequences are built there based on the standards. For instance, if you've got NFPA 99 class 1, that's already pre-programmed with all the test limits and the processes for carrying out that test. But if you want to make any amendments, for instance, if you want to add in your own user tests, you want to add in a visual test, or you just want to change some of the limits, revisions of NFPA 99 are always changing. So there may be an instance where a facility is using an older version of NFPA 99. Then it's possible to go in there, change those limits so it's more specific to your facility, and then the test sequences is built in there for any of your future testing. So this is one of the ways you can go in there and edit those, and I'll show you how to do that on the 280 itself. Again, this shows you how the limits are shown up on the menu, so you can go in there using the keypad, change the mains limit, change the single fault condition limit, and also make any edits to the fault conditions from each specific test. From there, you can change the name of it, and it will be there within the auto sequence. You can select that from the menu and run through the sequence from there on in. You can insert individual tests in between of those test sequences. So if you wanted to add an additional earth bond test or an IEC lead test, then you can input that into the sequence as well as changing the limits to it. So test codes, what are they? Less relevant to the US market, but we can have 4-digit test codes which allow you to input the types of applied parts. Now this applies to IEC 60601 and less so to NFPA 99. The reason for that is that NFPA 99 groups the applied parts together, and also there are no classifications in NFPA 99. You will see on the AEP setup here that there's CF, BF, and CF again. Within some standards globally, they will have different leakage limits. So CF is a higher classification of applied part, and therefore the limits are much lower than what would be for BF. Now, in NFPA 99 in biomed world for the US, that's not as relevant, and the AEP setup can be just tested for 10 applied parts. They're all grouped together. You're doing the sum of all the patient leakages, so it's not as relevant. But for anyone that's using IEC 60601 or 62353, that's where test codes can really come into being beneficial to the organization. The 288 has Bluetooth and it's capable of data transfer. So there's 2 methods of transferring data out, either wirelessly through the Bluetooth chip, or there's also a USB to RS232 adapter that comes with the 288. I'll show you that when we take the device out of the box and the bag. that allows you to transfer to the PC via USB as well if you need it. We have a 2.8 downloader app. You can find this on Google Play. Now this isn't quite up to date. There is also an Apple version of this. You can download this app for iOS. With this, you can transfer all of the results from your automated testing to your phone, and that can be uploaded to your asset management system via CSV, an Excel format, or you can print a PDF, and that report can then be sent as well. So it's available for use on iOS and Android. So it's just dropped out for me. You can download from the 2.8 via the Bluetooth connection and generate reports from your selection of test results. You can either group the PDF together into one big file, or you can select it by individual asset IDs, and that will send a test report from the mobile device or cell phone. You can view and forward your results in PDF or CSV formats, and also it has a database option where you can back up your results and store them on a different device. So this gives you a quick overview of how that PDF report will look once downloaded from the device. Here, a couple of the assets are selected and exported in both CSV format and PDF. So a PDF report looks something like this. You can change the format and the icons. So if you wanted your own icon from your testing facility, you can do that from the phone. You can add an image and create your own custom test report, and it'll have all the test results, whether the device has passed or failed, and you can then export that from there. And then the CSV format is much more relevant for inputting data to asset management systems, where you can link up the different lines to the parts of that report. Some more of the operation and how it works. You can also go into there to view some of our content, social media content. So you can go to our Rigel Medical website, where we have data sheets, manuals for our devices, videos on how to use our test equipment. There's also a YouTube channel. Again, some application videos on there for test and measurement. If you've got different devices within our portfolio, then we'll have a lot of how-to videos on performing testing. And then also both of our social media channels as well, available through the application. We had a couple of questions on the downloader app before, so I'm just going to run through a couple of those. I know there's a Q&A session at the end here that John's going to provide. This is more specific to the application itself. Is there a charge for the app? Yes, there's a $20 charge for the app. There's a pound sign on there, which is wrong, incorrect. That's $20 as well. If you change your device, we need to pay for the app again. You'll be able to access and change it without having to buy another purchase. Also, how to use the app, I'm going to show you shortly how to do that within the demo. And then also some of the other questions on technically how to transfer that data. I won't run into too much on that. If you do have any questions, just feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be able to walk you through how that data is managed on the 2.8 app. So there's a couple of other methods of transferring data from the device to your asset management system. If you did want to transfer the raw data from the 2.8 to your PC, we've got a free data transfer app. It's a very basic application. But what it does is it squirts out that data into an Excel file, and then you can attach that to your work orders. Very basic, but it does the job. It's really quick to do. And it's also a way of transferring data between different analyzers. So config data is sent out in TXT format. You can then apply that to other 2.8s. For instance, if you've created a bank of test sequences, you can upload that to your PC and download it to the rest of the 2.8 devices within your portfolio. So you're effectively cloning each 2.8. There's also a piece of software we have called Rigel Medibase. Now this is an asset management system, centralizes all your test results. You can create those test sequences on the software and then upload it to the 288. It also has comparison of results. There is a remote control function for some of our other products that allow you to control the devices. But for the 288, it's just for downloading your test results into the software, and then you can export it into PDF format, again, where you can attach it to any of your work orders. And finally, the safe test range. I won't go into too much detail on this. This is a demo for the 288 itself, but if it's a manual tester that you're more specifically after, then we have a range of safe test devices with just simple function keys for carrying out each individual test. But that's just to go over some of the ranges that we have. So I'm just going to pause this. I'm going to switch cameras as well, just to show you the 288 out of the box solution. How that looks. So the 288 is provided with this carry bag. It's a rucksack with a single strap solution, so great for biomeds on the go. This is the bag that comes with it. You can fit several other analyzers into this bag. So we've got a 288 in there now with all the accessories, and there's also this section at the top where we've got storage of the applied part box, some of the applied part adapters, and the mains lead. So within this bag, you can fit one 288. You can also fit our patient simulator, which is roughly the same footprint as the 288. So it can fit here once you take out these Velcro attached compartments. And then also in the back here, you'll be able to fit another analyzer, whether that be another safety analyzer. You'll also be able to fit one of our defib analyzers in the top here. So this bag, although it comes for free with the safety analyzer, it is a great solution if you're using some of our other devices, because you can fit 2 to 3 additional testers in there. Also in there, we've got the calibration certificate. It comes from the factory. There are a couple of ground bond leads. This helps if you're doing different types of devices, but also for point-to-point testing, you've got 2 different leads that come with it. So we've got the crocodile clip style ground bond lead. They're both 1.5 meters, roughly 5 feet each lead. So that's the first lead. We've got the croc clip connected onto the rear of the device. We have the ECG box, which connects to the top of the analyzer. A bag of 10 snap ECG connectors for the applied part box. Also in here, we supply a data transfer lead, and that's if you don't want to use Bluetooth on the 288 for transferring your data. There is a USB to PC option there, which we provide. And then there's another Earth One lead. It comes with a crocodile clip, but it has this option to connect directly to the medical device for any exposed conductive parts, which the alligator clip just can't reach. You can attach this and then have that as a crocodile clip style solution as well. So that's the bag. I'll just get the analyzer out. The device itself is handheld. It's an alphanumeric keyboard for keying in data. We have a power lead, which is specific to the 288. So just to ensure that the right lead is connected, it's in the top. So we switch the device on. ECG box connects to the top of the instrument. And then either of your ground one lead plugs can go into the bottom half there. And there's also an additional connector here whereby you can connect the USB to RS232 adapter. So when you first switch the screen on, this is a US variant of the 288, so it has NFPA 99 built in as standard. From there, you can go to the main screen, automatic mode, and manual mode for your testing purposes. If I select auto mode, NFPA 99 class 1, I can then key in my asset details. And that's now going to run through a fully automated test according to the NFPA 99 standards. So I need to connect the probe to an accessible part. It'll run through ground bond and then touch leakage, patient leakages, and also the patient leakage with the device switched on or off, and any fault conditions that are included. So it's fully automated from here. Once you've keyed in the asset information, you just follow the prompts. It will tell you where the device needs to be connected. So here it's saying connect the probe to accessible conductive parts on the appliance, then press the green start key to start the ground continuity test. And then it's a case of just following the sequence of events. This one will fail because it's not connected to any device right now. Press key to start, and then it will continue to run through the test until the end. So the ET should be turned on. Press the green key to start, and it will give you a series of tests which will run through automatically. And each time that it does that, you just hit the green button, and it will run through as a sequence right until the end. That's doing chassis leakage. The symbols here in the corner indicate the fault conditions, and that allows you to see the different faults, such as reverse continuity, reverse polarity, or open earth, open ground. If you need to. So in this example, ground is now open. And the PA99, please turn the device on, that specific test. And then we hit save. Just zoom in a little bit so it's the image is a bit clearer. And then any tests are saved within the 288. So this is a new device. We're going to view data. It's going to be that single asset that was just tested. Obviously it's failed because there's no device connected. And from there, you can then download the PC and send it to your phone and have those PDF reports. The 288 also has a manual mode built in. And here's where you can just select each individual test separately. Insulation, NFPA 99, so earth leakage, chassis leakage, patient leakages. You can go in there and just perform any manual tests within the 288. You can change the settings and the limits, unlimited, and then this function key here, F2, will change any of the fault conditions. So that's now earth open, reverse polarity, open earth, and then back to a standard condition for the device under test. So if you do need to perform any manual tests, you can create those manually and change the fault conditions within that menu setting. But for an NFPA 99 test, you only really need to run through automatic mode, key in the asset ID, and the 2.8 will take care of the rest in terms of the sequence, the test limits, whether it's going to pass or fail, and run through on there. So rather than set the device up for a test, I'm going to run through a quick video of the 2.8 testing to NFPA 99 with a patient monitor and how it's connected. So the ground bond is connected to the device under test conductive part. This ECG connect box has got 5 of those snap connectors already connected. Connect up those ECG leads to there, and then have the ground bond connected to the back. And from there, we can run through an automated test. In this example, the earth bond lead is running back to the DUT socket. So you can use your own test leads. Just make sure that they're zeroed out before performing a test. So that's been zeroed before. Connect it to the rear of the device under test. Device is plugged in, auto mode, in the same way that I keyed in the asset ID, NFPA 99 class 1. And it's just going to run through a series of tests to make sure. And as long as the values that are measured by the 2.8 are within the NFPA 99 limits, it will just run through sequentially each of the tests. If it does encounter a failure, a prompt will come up on the screen to ask if you're happy to proceed with that failure, and it will be inputted into the report, or it will ask you to repeat the test. Sometimes there's an issue with the ground bond lead, then it does give you the option to restart the test and try again. So long as everything's okay and it's running correctly and all the measured values are within specification, then it will proceed to the end of the test and give you an option to key in the report. And those prompts on there telling you to turn the device on and off according to the NFPA 99 code. And we did get a question earlier about the difference between ground and earth. You'll also see some of those terminologies change between enclosure, chassis, and touch leakage. They're all interchangeable terms. They all effectively mean the same thing. So we've also got this example here of how the new iOS app works. State transfer, download to PC. This device has already been set up, it's already been paired. So my iPhone is connected. You can select Apple devices, go to setup, and make sure that the Bluetooth device is available in the settings. That's the 2.8 that we need. And then from there, the data can be sent over to your phone, whereby all the asset IDs are on there. So pick the last test that was done, select, and view the PDF. That's the test record. So all the values are automatically input for their status. If the limits are within, then the report gives you a status of passed according to the limits of NFPA 99. And then from there, that can be sent on to be attached to any work orders. just to give you a little bit more information on the video for the 2.8 downloader. This is the application that we've just released for iOS, and go through some of the setup for the application itself. So where you key in all the asset management details and some of the company information, you can put that in here. You can add in your own company logo and signatures for the test reports, and it's really handy for independent service organizations. Some biomed workshops also use them for creating test reports. Not as commonly used in biomed workshops because you've already got those systems available for downloading results directly to the PC and then attaching them to your work orders. But we certainly see a lot more popularity of these in service organizations that are traveling around and need that ability to create reports on the go. So you can create your own logo. Any signatures for reports. And then we're into the main list. And this is where you can set up your devices, what 2.8 you want to connect. So in this example, 2.8 has been paired. You wait for that data to be sent across. And then any files that were on the 2.8 can be saved onto your database on the phone. And then test reports are sent on from there. Some of these are comprehensive reports. AC 60601 is a very comprehensive test, so it will have a significant test report. And this is a CSV example, so that can also be sent out and attached to any work orders if that's sufficient for what you need. It can also then attach it to anything that needs to be integrated. And that's running through. Oh, did that work? Okay. So that's the full asset management for transferring of data, any automated test sequences, and how they're created and put onto your cell phone, and how you can transfer that data across. There's also an additional feature in the 2.8 that I just wanted to go over that I missed from when we had the camera up. It's this IEC lead test that allows you to test all of your leads within your facility. You connect a IEC lead test from here to the top part of the 2.8 there, and that can test the continuity, the insulation, and the polarity of those leads. You can even create your own test limits. So if you want an insulation limit of 5 megohms, for example, you can change that in there, and if it falls outside of any of those test parameters, it will provide you with a fail. This is a manual test. It's not included in any of the test sequences, so this is typically done as a manual test once you've performed all your testing for the device. So if you do come across any failures on a device, it's always worth checking the leads. You want to make sure that it's not that first. You can just do a quick functional check on the test lead, and then you can proceed with the test itself. The 2.8 also has a view data option, so you can go in there and check all of the results and see any historical data. This will store up to 10,000 records, so a full list of the assets within there. It also has a recall asset function. So this single test that we've got in here, 1587963, if I go to the asset details and key that in, it will recall the test data, the test sequence that was performed before. and it will automatically go in without having to populate any of that information. Because on the next screen there is that option to provide different asset trace variables. This screen is also editable, so additional asset trace variables can be added in here. Yes.
Right now, I'm not seeing your screen. I don't know if that's just on my end or if it's for everyone on the webinar, but right now, I see it. Thank you.
Okay. Was that missing from the start? I'll go back to the IEC test. Sorry about that. So that IEC test I was explaining was in the manual mode, and at the bottom here, the results can be changed on here. So F3, test limits, and that's where you can go in and check your IEC lead to ensure that it's not the device that's failing, but the lead that you're testing. So you can always go back and verify all your test leads, not just the devices themselves. And then from automatic mode, the recalling of data can be done here. So if you key in your information, the asset trace variables can be edited. So you can add additional trace variables on here, whether that be your department, the user. Additional variables can be added, and that's done within the setup of the 288 asset trace variables. And in here you can add in whatever trace variables you need for your test report. So make, model, description, serial number, client. So there's an option there to add in additional trace variables to your sequence. If I change all those to yes, go back to automatic mode and key in the asset ID, the next stage is going to have the full list that can be input on the keypad. So make, for example, I can just go in there and add in all those asset informations before performing the test, and that will again be added onto that test report, whether it's downloaded via CSV, PDF on the application, or to the PC. So what I'll do now is I'll leave the questions up to anyone attending on the panel. If there's anything they would like to see being demonstrated on here, how the device works, I'll leave it open to some of the attendees to see if there's any questions on that.
All right, Lewis, thank you very much. That was a very good presentation. I want to let everyone know too that Rigel will be at MD Expo coming up in Las Vegas. They will be in booth 109. So you can also go there if you have any questions. Some questions that we did have come in for the webinar today are, what are the key features and capabilities of a electrical safety analyzer that you look for?
So specifically for any safety analyzer, you want to make sure that it has full traceability of measurement. So that's one of the key features. You want to have accurate and repeatable results. So does it have traceability back to national standards? Is it are the calibration certs with that type of traceability for measurement? That's one of the most important things about test and measurement equipment is its traceability and how well the device performs when taking those measurements. You want to make sure that it's a credible device. Fortunately, all biomedical test equipment manufacturers will typically have this. This is a fairly industry standard. So then it's looking at additional features that come with the device. Is Bluetooth needed, for example? Do you need to export your data from the safety analyzer? Does it have automated test sequences? One of the simplest ways of streamlining workflows is by having a test that's already pre-programmed. You don't need to input the test manually. And also the key benefit of having automated testing is that the results are then recorded, and you've got traceability of measurement there as well. If results are written down, or if it's just stated as a pass or fail, then you don't have that true traceability that you get with something that's automated. So there's a lot of benefits to having an analyzer that has that. Other features as well, which I think is really important, is portability. Biomeds are on the go, and they're often carrying equipment around with them, testing the devices in situ. So I think portability again is another key feature, but ultimately it's user preference as well that it comes down to. How well does the UI work for them? This device might be suitable for some people, but not for others, and that's okay. I think ultimately it's about demoing the equipment and seeing which is the best fit.
All right. I had a question come in. I'm not sure if you'll know the answer to this or not. It says our hospitals are located in California. We are complied NFPA 99 for all medical devices to perform electrical safety test. Is IEC 62353 standard applying to California as well?
So IEC 62353 is applicable in parts of Europe and Asia. The NFPA 99 code is law within the US. So statewide, it is the code that must be followed for electrical safety within a healthcare facility. Now within 62353, that's it's still a recurrent test and repair standard. So it's looking at electrical safety for devices that are in circulation. So it's very similar to NFPA 99. They're both performing tests that are for preventative maintenance, acceptance test, post-repair. Ultimately, it's up to the facility to decide, but NFPA 99 code is what's law within the US, and that's what must be followed for compliance. We have seen some 62353 being used, but typically that's for manufacturers that have applied their testing from manufacturers in Europe, and they're applying that to their testing over here, not for healthcare facilities themselves.
Okay. And then another question, and pardon me, I don't know all the terms. So the question is, does this support both 110, 220 VAC and 50/60 HZ?
Yep, so there's two different testers that we have for 110 or 120 and 230. So we have a European version of this, Shuko, which is 230. There's also other variants, but those are the main two types of devices we have. We have a US 120 volt, 50 hertz, and then a European 230, 60 hertz. There are other variants within the global network, but that's the primary types. The safe test range is a little bit different. That's 90 to 264 volts, and that covers both frequencies. So the types of voltage is covered across both ranges, whereas this is two different types of testers. You've either got a 120 volt or you've got a 230.
All right. And then I think the same person asked, and I believe you talked about this earlier, but the power outlet on the device can be refigured to other outlets shaped to adapt with equipment power plugs, such as a UK 3-prong.
Yes, it can. We've got multiple variants. I think for the 2.8, we can cover most of the different types of plugs. There's a couple in there that we don't have. Very niche regions, such as there's Chile have their own plug, for example, which is its own specific plug. But for all the main regions, we have variants and sockets, and those configurations can be installed onto the 2.8, and they come pre-configured. So you buy a Shuko, it will come with a Shuko standard plug, and it will come with a Shuko standard cord. You can, of course, use adapters as well. It's not recommended for long-term use due to mechanical wear and tear, but adapters can also be used on our devices. That is a solution. For instance, if you've got a US 2.8 and you needed to temporarily test a different device with a different socket, you can use adapters as a temporary solution. Just make sure that if you do and you're using the test lead, that you zero out the ground bond by connecting the lead to the adapter once it's connected, and that will get rid of any resistance from the adapter being plugged in. So just to make sure that that's being zeroed, but there's nothing stopping you from using an adapter, just not really recommended for long-term use.
I understand. And then another question we had is, what is the internal storage capacity? For example, how many tests can be stored internally before they have to be downloaded or deleted?
So the memory in this is quite large. It's five. I think I said on the presentation it's 10,000. Actually, it's 5,000 records. I was mistaken on that. So this will store up to 5,000 tests before you have to clear the memory and start over.
Okay. And then another question is, can the application be used on an iPad?
Yes, it can. It can also be used on an iPad or iPhone. So the iOS application is valid on both. We have done conformance testing on both platforms, and it works really well for both of those types of devices.
And then, oh, sorry, Lewis. And then another question was, how does the integration of an app enhance the usability and efficiency of the testing process?
Okay, yeah, sure. So an application will help a lot of facilities now, and I mentioned this as well about independent service organisations that are using testers. I think this is the way forward for test and measurement, particularly electrical safety, because when you're on the go and you just want those test reports instantly, you might want to provide them directly to a client or a customer. An application gives you that instant report that you can send over. It also gives you a backup. I mean, if you were to lose a tester with all the test records, you're going to lose all that accountability and any test records that you have. At least with an application, you can keep updating your test records and have those reports available to you at all times.
Fantastic. Another question does it support USB outlet for data transfer?
Yes, it does. So the two cables that come with the 2.8, which I'll just show you, it has we have this cable here which connects to the top of the analyzer. So, and then we also have an additional RS232 to USB adapter that comes, and this comes standard with the 2.8. This isn't an additional accessory. This comes with the device, so we connect those up, and then you've got a USB connection point there. And when you go to data transfer on the 2.8, or it goes to download to PC, there's a couple of options. So you can either export that into a CSV Excel format, and that's full, so that have all the test results. There's a CSV summary, which just tells you if the asset ID has passed or failed. There's SSS, which is for Medibase, it's test sequences. And then on here, it tells you the different modes of transfer. So RS232, you can transfer it through the cable. There's Bluetooth, and then there's also any Apple devices. So this hasn't got any Bluetooth devices connected at the moment, but once they've been paired, when you go to computer, you can cycle through, your iPhone, your PC, and any other options that you've got paired with the 2.8. But it does allow for data transfer via USB as well.
All right, and I think we have time for one more question, and that is, you may have answered this already, but is there a possibility to print the results directly from the device?
Yes, there is. We have an accessory called the Test and Tag Elite 2 printer, and that will print off the results either onto a label, or you can use paper roll for printing out those results. There's a couple of different formats that you can use. There's also an option on here for printing labels. So I don't have a label printer set up with this device. So See if I can at least show you it. Print result. So the results will show up like that on a label, asset ID, list of test results, and then test results will be printed on there. And there's also an option to print the label. That's not going to let me do it because there's no Bluetooth printer, but there is an option to have a pass-fail label as well, and you can set up your own logo. So if you wanted to have your own company name on there and your company logo, you can pre-configure the logo on here with a BMP file, and then when you print out your test results and pass-fail labels, you can attach that to the device on the test once it's complete, and it will have all the information on there.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And then in closing today, I want to thank you again, Lewis, for your time and a great presentation. I'd like to encourage everyone to visit today's sponsor at rigelmedical.com or visit their booth at the MD Expo coming up in Las Vegas. As promised, the answer to today's trivia question is totality is what we were looking for. So congratulations to our winner of a $100 Amazon gift card. The winner is Robert Palladino, a BMET 3 with Sodexo CMT in Massachusetts. Now, a quick reminder that you can obtain your CE certificate by completing the post-webinar survey. The survey will be emailed to you in about 1 hour. You must complete the survey to receive your 1 CE credit from the ACI, and you will be able to download the certificate directly from your computer once the survey is submitted. If you have any questions, you can email us at webinar@mdpublishing.com. We will be back next month with another Tools of the Trade live demo and another great prize as we continue to celebrate our 10th anniversary. Visit webinarwednesday.live for more details, including a complete schedule of all upcoming webinars and on-demand webinars that you can view. Again, registration is always complimentary. And don't forget to nominate yourself or a colleague for the 40 Under 40 in TechNation magazine. Thank you again for your attention today and have a great day.
Okay, thanks, John, and appreciate everyone for joining today's webinar. Again, thanks to TechNation as well for helping us out delivering this webinar. We really enjoyed it. So if you do want to reach out to us at MD Expo, I will be there at the stand, as John alluded to. So if you've got any other questions on the device or any of our equipment, please drop by and we'll be able to help you out with that.